The crisp, satisfying sound of a football being kicked, followed by the roar of a massive, cheering crowd. The sound then abruptly shifts to the intimate, focused sound of a camera shutter clicking. There are two sounds that define the future of the British monarchy. One is the roar of a stadium. The other is a sound so quiet, most of the world has completely missed it. We all see the obvious parallels: the sandy hair, the shy smile, the destined path to the throne. But while the world watches for Prince George to pick up a football, he has been quietly cultivating a different, far more significant passion. A passion that doesn't roar, but observes. And it's this very interest that proves he is following in his father's footsteps more closely than anyone realized. This isn't a story about sports. This is a story about a legacy being written not in the public eye, but in the quiet corners of Kensington Palace and the wilds of Norfolk. And it reveals the kind of King George is already preparing to become. To understand the significance of George's passion, we must first look at his father's. Prince William's public persona is built on football and diplomacy, but his private soul has always belonged to the natural world. As a boy, he was a passionate birdwatcher. As a young man, he trekked through remote jungles and campaigned against the illegal wildlife trade. This wasn't a hobby, it was a calling. He didn't just keep this passion private. He built his life's work around it. The Earthshot Prize is the culmination of a lifetime of dedication to the environment. It is the most ambitious climate prize in history, and it is the clearest expression of William's core belief that the protection of our planet is the most important duty of his generation. And now, he is passing this baton. Insiders and those close to the Wales family have noted for years that while Prince Louis is the boisterous performer and Princess Charlotte the confident leader, George has always been the observer, the quiet one, the naturalist. The sound of a page turning in a sketchbook, the soft scratch of a pencil. So, what is the evidence of this quiet passion? It's in the details that William and Kate have carefully, but deliberately, allowed us to see. First, the visual clues. In countless unofficial photos and videos, George's gaze is often drawn away from the crowds and towards the sky, the trees, the natural world around him. During a public engagement, while others are waving, he's been spotted tracking the flight path of a plane or a bird with a focused intensity. But the most telling clue came from a royal insider. They revealed that George has kept what he calls his nature notebook for years. In it, he doesn't just draw animals. He jots down observations. The type of beetle he found in the garden at Amer Hall. The bird species he identifies by their song at Balmoral. This is more than child's play. This is the foundation of scientific inquiry and environmental stewardship. His heroes, we are told, are not just footballers. They are explorers and naturalists like his father's own hero, Sir David Attenborough. For his birthdays, he reportedly asks for books on astronomy and wildlife, and for equipment like a beginner's telescope or a better pair of binoculars. His curiosity is being actively nurtured and fueled. This passion is being cultivated in the wild, open spaces of Norfolk, a world away from the spotlight of London. It is there, on the walks with his father, that the real education of a future king is taking place. The sound of a gentle breeze through trees, transitioning into the sound of a thoughtful, strategic musical score. This is not a random childhood interest. For William and Kate, George's connection to nature is a key part of a long-term, strategic blueprint for the monarchy. First, it builds a relatable, modern identity. A king who is a passionate conservationist is a king for the 21st century. It connects him to the most pressing global issue of his time, the climate and ecological crisis. This isn't a stuffy, distant hobby. It's a relevant, urgent, and deeply human pursuit. Second, it creates a powerful father-son legacy. William is building Earthshot to be his defining legacy. What better way to secure its future than to have his heir, the future king, share its core mission? Imagine King George VII, decades from now, presiding over the Earthshot Prize, continuing the work his father began. It creates a narrative of continuity and purpose that stretches for a century. And third, it's a safe, unifying, and intellectually rigorous path. Unlike the politically charged minefields his ancestors navigated, the environment is a cause that transcends traditional political divisions. It allows George to be a global statesman and a moral leader without being dragged into partisan politics. It is the perfect platform for a modern constitutional monarch. The music becomes more hopeful and grand. So, what does this quiet passion signal about the kind of King George could become? It signals a thoughtful, introspective leader, a king who observes before he speaks, a monarch who values.